Hey guys, Matt Noonan here for another edition of Catching Up. We're here with the illustrious Dave Cusano. He's the head men's and women's track coach for both the indoor and the women's outdoor track teams. Dave, it's in the words of another famous philosopher in this building, it's been a while, as they would say. So what's going on? You guys have had obviously a couple of weeks already in the books. Talk about the first few weeks, what you've seen.
We've seen some great outstanding performances. Our throw group had an outstanding weekend this past week. Every thrower had a personal best and was really highlighted by Brandon Jochum, who had a 9-foot personal best in the weight throw. We've seen numerous ECAC qualifying standards, top performances in the country. The women's 4x4 is ranked number 2 currently in the United States, and plenty of performances otherwise noted for individuals, personal bests, outstanding competitions, like from top to bottom, men's and women's. So we're really excited about where we are right now.
Last weekend, you were down Commonwealth Avenue, Boston University to be exact. Good meet for both squads. First start about the men's, then go over to the women's. Again, number 10 right now in the nation. Just kind of talk about what you saw from that meet and maybe some performances too. Different, whether there's some underclassmen or some seniors that really, built on their last meet to this past meet.
I think the exciting thing being down at Terrier this past weekend for the young ladies ranked number 10th in the country is we were there. Harvard's there, UConn's there, all these top Division I institutions in the Northeast particularly, and we're right there in the mix. Shante Little makes the final and advances. The University of Central Florida is there, places like that. So when we're there and we're competing with those individuals, we know we're kind of where we need to be. I think the highlight that weekend was Dagmara Sobzik, who had personal best, dropped almost 8 seconds in the 1,000-meter run. That was an outstanding performance for her. And at the 200-meter, I think we had 3 personal bests out of 4 runners that competed in the 200 meters. So when you get into that kind of setting, they kind of rally around each other, and they're really kind of taking some ownership of that national ranking. And we're trying to do the best we can to kind of keep moving forward and keep that one direction in mind.
And again, as you just mentioned, you're going up against some Division I foes, and from maybe a Division III perspective too. When you're a Division III athlete, I know for you were a Division I athlete, played at University of Maine, but for the students here, and I know there are sometimes there will be maybe once in a while a Division I here and there, or Division II. But when you play and when you're competing against Division I, and you see that from a Division III, how does that kind of rise the runners' games?
I guess to use like an educational example would be take someone in the bio lab here and then go shove them into like an Ivy League bio lab. It's kind of that same concept, right? You kind of just up the ante a little bit, and I think that just really it makes you kind of take a little bit of ownership over yourself, your presentation, and the work that you put in up to that point, because you kind of want to prove your keep. You're just like that student in that bio lab. They're knowledgeable, they've been studying, they've been working, they have great professors, but now they're on that bigger stage. They just want to show that they're worthy and that they belong there. They do a great job of that.
2 weeks in the books, as we just mentioned. You're moving on. Of course, as any coach and any player would say, good job. We got to move on now too. Talk about what the next couple of weeks going forward. Again, just what you want this team to continue to build on.
Yeah, this weekend's a huge weekend for us. We're gonna head out to Springfield College. We'll have a great competition out there. It'll be kind of packed. There'll be a bunch of teams there. And we plan on doing a lot of work. We're gonna have athletes in a lot of events, and we're trying to test some kids in some new events at this point, kind of see where we might be and where we can move forward. And then the following week, right after that, we're right back to BU for the Valentine Invitational, and that's probably the most competitive meet that we'll be at all winter long outside of the national championship. So we'll have to buckle up and be ready for that next weekend.
And we talked about in the preseason movie or the preseason trailer where we were talking about the motivation. And I know you harped on it. Both had a couple of different runners that talked about it too. For these meets too, just the motivation factor going in there too. Can you talk a bit more about maybe if there's something that you say to certain runners, or maybe if the upperclassmen take it upon responsibility? I know motivation again might be the key word when you're not competing for a championship here in the indoor season. But again, before you transition to the outdoor, motivation. What are you doing for the motivating these young men and women?
I believe it or not, I don't have to do as much as people think I need to do. We have some real type A personality, young ladies, young men on our team. They kind of provide that for themselves. All that I try to do in the staff is try to get them lined up. If we get them lined up where they need to be, they'll take care of the rest. They're prepared. They bust their chops every week. 6:30 in the morning, we're in here. We're sometimes the first people in the field house, day in and day out. So they're motivated. That's kind of intrinsic, and it really comes from them. I think our kids, when you talk to them, you'll hear kind of do your job, prove them wrong. Those are kind of things you hear the kids talk about. And then I think from our end, we're really concerned with effort and execution. Effort will solve the problem. And if you execute to the best of your ability, the performances will come. And as long as we do that, we're going to be right where we need to be at the end of the season.
We'll close out on this end. It's obviously an exciting week, not only for you guys, but at the end of the week, there's a big game called the Super Bowl being played in New York. I know, being a former football guy yourself, I do have to get this last question out of here. Seahawks, Broncos, Richard Sherman, Peyton Manning, who do you like?
Oh, it's tough. You set me up. I'm a former defensive back who believes that defense wins championships, so it'd be hard pressed to go against Richard Sherman and the Seahawks. But Peyton Manning is a future Hall of Famer, first ballot. So I think it'll be a great football game. I think anybody who's a fan of the NFL will really enjoy their Sunday, and I plan to enjoy my Sunday as well.
And I presume we need a prediction though. Who are you picking?
Defense wins championships. I'm picking the Seahawks.
Seahawks right there. He's Dave Cusano. For more, make sure you head over to the Athletic website, and you guys are also on Twitter now too. Are you doing any of the tweets, or do you want to maybe just highlight? Just give a shout out to the Twitter handle too.
Coach Kelly Allen is in charge of the tweets, and she's running that. And we do the best we can to kind of keep it updated as frequently as we possibly can. So please follow us at Wheaton Track and Field.
Guys doing a great job on the tweets. Great job on the track too. Keep up the great work. Good luck this weekend. For more, head on over to athletics.wheatoncollege.edu. My name is Matt Noonan. Thanks for joining us on this edition of Catching Up.